Recording is on.
Hope you can see my screen now. Just type yes if you can. Okay, thank you very much. So, like I said, data visualization is not a new thing to anybody here, provided you pass through primary school or junior secondary school. You must have encountered um, stuffs like bar charts, pie charts, histogram, and so on and so forth. So, but those things, we are using it, just plotting them manually then. But tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and Python, and many others, they are there to help us plot these things with ease. And, remember then, it'll give you a particular number of data points for you to plot. And you'll be struggling to plot for a number of hours or so. So imagine that you now have thousands or millions of data and all that. So that is where these tools come in handy and they are very powerful in solving problems like this. So we'll see how we can use Excel in particular at the moment to visualize data. And data visualization helps you to simplify complex data, and it will help you to review the key insights, the trends, or outliers. So there are different uh, charts and graphs for different purposes. So there are some that is there to help you identify outlier. There are some that are there to help you to see the distribution of your data. We saw some of those things in introduction to data analysis. So now we'll just be practicalizing more of some of them that we saw then. Now, why data visualization matters is that it clarifies complex data and large volumes of information, highlights pattern, trends, and relationship like the scatter plot we saw the other time, how you can use it to visualize relationship between two categorical and two numerical variables. Now, it will help you to understand and aid decision making. So, just at a glance, you should be able to see uh, what maybe maximum or minimum or trend of how your sales or product performance is going. Now, it helps to make data more engaging and accessible. It helps retaining knowledge by presenting data visually. So, in data-driven organization, visualizing data is a core part of decision-making process. So before you can make decision in organizations that are data-driven, unlike most of our small and medium industries or organizations in Nigeria, they are not usually data-driven. Nigeria is so poor in data. So most times when we are building some of these skills, we are targeting remote jobs, and of course there is improvement at the moment. Data is now being recognized. I've said something like this before, that here in our country, when business begin to have problem, people will go and look for prophet that will prophesy for them and tell them where somebody has buried something. But in abroad, they will look for a data analyst to help them get insight of what the problem is all about. So those insights, you readily point them out with the help of visualization. So Excel helps you with basic 2D charts and more advanced 3D models. So there are a number of chart types that you can customize in Excel. And then now the key features in Excel chart is that you have legends, that you provide text description for data points. Legend is more of like labels that describe your data points, especially the categories. Now you can control the visual design of the chart, that is the styles. You want it to appear in any way you desire. Then You offer contextual information of each data point, that is using labels. And then the themes is talking about predefined color palettes for aesthetic consistency. So it's more of like just like we have themes in your phones or any other gadgets, especially Android. So you can choose a theme which is not usually a serious concern. The colorful look of your this thing is not a very big concern and all that. Even though there are points here, your color combination speaks in volumes. Okay, Obum, you say you cannot see my screen. I don't know if you are still struggling to see it now. Is it general problem or peculiar to him? Please, if anybody can see my screen, say yes in the chat session. Please say yes to the chat session if you can. Just drop yes. Okay, thank you. So I think maybe it's a network issue from your end. Maybe if you can log. Okay, okay, okay. That's good. That's good. So now, choosing the right visualization, selecting the right chart type is essential to effectively communicate the intended message to your audience. So we will see how you'll be able to choose the correct chart type. You only just bring every data and then you just use bar chart or you use pie chart or scatter plot or histogram. You don't just jump into any one of them. Each chart has what it does at every point in time. So depending on the types of the data. Now the type of data, and so sorry, when choosing a visualization, we need to consider what the type of the data. Either whether it's categorical or numerical or whether it's a time series data. And the message you want to convey, that is whether you are going to compare some quantities or you want to see distribution or trends or relationship. We have explained during the introduction to data analysis that when you want to compare, you use scatter plot. When you want to check your distribution of your data, you use histogram. When you want to check, look out for trends, you use majorly line plots. But sometimes bar chart is also useful, but it depends on the nature of the data. And then when you have time series, you must stick to line plots. That is when your data is a time series data. When we say time series data, we are simply talking about data that the data point is changing within a particular time interval. Let's say it was recorded every 2 seconds or every 5 minutes or every 1 hour or every day or weekly. So the time interval is the same, is equal throughout. So that is a time series data. So the major graph or chart that you use for it is a line plots. So in that case, you are looking for trends. You are looking for trends, but not all plots that explain trends are time series related. That is not all data that talk about trend that are actually time series. So, but the point there is that time series, you use a line plot for it, and then anything that has to do with trend, you still use line plots. And when you talk about relationship, you are using a scatter plot. You use scatter plot to see relationship. Now, also the audience also matters. Now, there are some charts that are highly technical. And when you are now presenting your analysis, that is a report of your analysis to non-technical audience, and you're using those charts that are highly technical, you will end up confusing them. So when you are communicating to technical audience, then you can use technical charts, and they will understand. In fact, that is what they want to see. If you bring the one that you need to present to non-technical audience, in fact, they'll feel that they are not yet informed. They have not gotten any information. So You need to consider the audience when choosing your charts. Now, common chart types, we have bar charts. Like I said, we have column chart. Bar chart and column chart, they look alike, but bar chart usually horizontal bars showing comparison. And then column chart usually vertical bars. But most often we used to call those column charts bar charts. That is, as a layman, we are or we used to be. So, but note it that bar chart is the one that have horizontal bars. We'll see it as we continue. So, for comparing categories, column charts, vertical bars, comparing values over time or categories. So, the column chart, you can use it for these values over time simply means trend. Like I said, when you're looking for trend, you can use line plot and you can use bar chart. But in this time around, it's in form of column chart. So you compare values over time, and you can also use it to compare categories. Now, pie chart, which is circular chart showing proportions, use it to show parts of a whole, like percentage or proportion. When you want to display percentage of maybe population of people in the country, that is different states, you can use pie charts to display that. It will show you clear information. So pie chart is helps you to show parts of a whole. I believe we understand what proportion and percentage is all about. So when you want to do anything like that, you use pie chart. And then line chart for connecting data points that is showing trends over time. Area chart is also like line chart, but it has a little different. But a kind of it is filled. It's a line chart that is filled from bottom to where the line is. So it is also for visualizing, but that visualizing trend, but this time around cumulative trend. Now histogram is bars showing frequency distribution. So use it to understand the distribution of your data. You want to see maybe whether it is skewed or not skewed, whether it's normally distributed or not. So histogram is more of you trying to see a kind of do descriptive statistics. Want to describe your data. So you use histogram. Scatter plot, a plot pair of numerical data to identify relationship or correlation. Identify relationship or correlation. Hope we are together. Now, advanced visualization options. Like remember, we said that some high technical visualization will not be good for non-technical audience. We have tree map. Tree map is used to display hierarchical data as nested rectangles. We will encounter it later on. Also, apart from tree map, maps like uh, what is it called again? We don't have it here. Okay, later I will let you know that particular one is also a kind of a hierarchical data that is used for plotting hierarchical data. So in this case, now when we say hierarchical data, we mean a data that has hierarchy. For instance, now you are showing geographical distribution, and then you have country, and you have states, and you have city, and you have let's say a particular location. So that is in form of hierarchy. Another good example of hierarchical data is dates. So when you have your date in year, quarter, months, weeks, or days. So in that case, it has hierarchy. So if you want to plot something like that, when you want to look into the hierarchical distribution or analysis of your data, you use source like tree map. Now, box and whisker plots is for it also shows distribution, but this time around it shows you your median and outliers. So most of the time, if you want to easily know if there is outliers. If there are outliers in your data set, just use box plot. We are coming to that later on. Waterfall chart, it tracks cumulative effect of sequential values. Like I said, some of these charts, they are more technical. So you choose technical ones for technical audience, and then non-technical ones for non-technical audience. We'll still see to most of them one after the other, not immediately, but before the end of the course. Now, radar chart compares multivariate data on a circular scale. Variant chart, it looks like, well, I wish I was able to add each of these charts in this note so you will see. But when we get to plotting each of them, you will understand better. And then, okay, sorry. Then we have a maps to plot geographical data. And then we have combo charts. It just combo simply means combination, combining two or more charts. For instance, I can combine bar chart and line charts. So in that case, you are getting a combo chart. So more, it gives you more insight than only one chart. Now, um, there's a question here. Do you know the meaning of data viz? Remember, we said that we are working with the data camp curriculum. This is just one of the quiz you encounter if among those that have access to data camp, if you are following through the course on data camp and following through the exercise. So you encounter this quiz. You say which of these statements about data visualization is false. Now, every other thing is true, but the first one enhances understanding but not retention of information. So data visualization is the graphical representation of data using chart, graphs, and other visual tools. It enables you to present complex data to identify outliers, critical part of decision-making process in data-driven organizations. So all of the other options, they are correct about data visualization except the first one. So excuse me. So the summary is that data visualization is a graphical representation of data. It's important to reveal insight, support decision making. In fact, in all your analysis, if there is no chart, I wonder how you'll be able to communicate your insight. So, communicating all your discovering in your data analysis work, you cannot do without um, charts. Now, Excel is easy to use, customizable, and support basic and advanced charts. So we were able to see how to choose a chart based on your data type. Now visualizing categories in Excel. So we want to look at few exercises. Like I've said, most of these exercises are from most of these exercises are from not most, all of them are from the data camp that we are using. Now, in this exercise, the background says, excuse me, let me off all of this. So the background says the operation team is interested in identifying the best performing products by analyzing average sales. Excel's bar and column chart are ideal for comparing categorical data such as products, types, or subcategories. And these chart types provide clear, concise, and visual representation of comparative values. So you can readily use the bar chart or column charts to compare categories. Now, in this particular exercise, you said that the operation team is interested in identifying the best performing product. So there are a number of products, So those products, they are categorical. Remember, we talked about categorical data, numerical data, and other sub divisions of categorical and numerical data like ordinal and nominal data, and so on and so forth. So, in case you are confused about this aspect, just go through the introduction to data analysis notes again, and you remember what exactly is categorical data. Example of categorical data is male, female for age. I mean, sorry, for gender. When you're talking about gender, it's male, female. So when you have different types of products, you're still talking about categorical data. So most often, it is easier to visualize such data with your bar chart or column chart. So now we'll be working with the 3_4 visualization categories files in the workbook that I've shared before now. Okay, have I shared this particular one? Well, excuse me. Okay, let me unshare it. But please permit me to stop my screen.